The modern world presents a paradox when it comes to the financial markets and the advice given to the public. There's an obsession with active stock trading, and it's often compared to harmful behaviors like drug addiction. Encouraging young people to engage in stock trading without understanding the inherent risks is often just as irresponsible as encouraging someone to start heroin. Similarly, the idea of making money by selling books promising unrealistic returns on investments is equally ludicrous. If someone truly discovered a method to achieve 300% annual returns, they would likely keep that information to themselves rather than sell books online. This is an aspect of human nature that Munger understands deeply. People are often more interested in selling the illusion of success rather than the hard truth. Much of modern commerce operates under a similar guise, where individuals and institutions focus on profits over honesty. For example, insurance companies market savings that are often based on misleading figures. They present statistics like how a customer can save $400 by switching companies, but fail to mention that such savings apply to a very small number of customers, people who likely had odd cases to begin with. These are misleading tactics that take advantage of the average consumer's lack of understanding. The widespread practice of hiding the truth for the sake of profits isn't just prevalent in insurance. It permeates every corner of modern business. These misleading practices, which prey on the gullibility of individuals, have become so common that many people now regard them as acceptable. But not all business leaders fall into this trap. In contrast, individuals like Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger emphasize the importance of investing with integrity. They never attempt to make money by taking advantage of naive investors. Instead, they focus on long-term investments, understanding that making money by manipulating others or offering false hopes isn't sustainable. This leads to a more responsible, ethical, and sustainable approach to wealth. Charlie Munger shares a metaphor to illustrate the immoral practices of some modern financial approaches. He compares it to a person who owns a wonderful horse with a few dangerous tendencies. When the horse is well behaved, the owner is advised to sell it. This reflects the practice of private equity firms, who often hire investment bankers to create rosy projections to sell troubled businesses. This process isn't about providing real solutions to problems, but about creating an illusion to profit. The tactic is not about addressing underlying issues, but about putting a shiny new coat of paint on a troubled asset and selling it to an unsuspecting buyer. This process of creating fake value through projections and misleading marketing might seem like a shortcut to success, but it's inherently unstable. Eventually, the artificial value created will crumble. The emphasis on manipulation instead of genuine long-term value ultimately erodes trust and leads to business failures. Munger emphasizes that creating false projections and selling off troubled businesses is not a way to build lasting success. Instead, a commitment to honest dealings, transparency, and the creation of real value is the only sustainable path to success in business. The world of modern commerce often reminds Munger of the carnival business, where operators prey on the weaknesses of others. He reflects on the importance of being able to recognize these patterns and avoid them, especially when they come from family members or people you trust. Munger shares an insightful personal anecdote. His father had two clients, one who was a consistent source of legal problems, and the other a businessman who treated everyone fairly. Despite the former client being a bigger earner, Munger's father always preferred the latter because he knew that treating people well leads to better long-term outcomes. It was a lesson that shaped Munger's own business philosophy, reinforcing the idea that integrity and fairness will lead to more sustainable and rewarding success than cutting corners and exploiting others. Through this personal story, Munger demonstrates a fundamental lesson that has guided him throughout his life: the importance of working with good people, treating everyone with respect, and focusing on long-term goals rather than short-term gains. It's easy to be seduced by the allure of a flashy business deal or a client promising big returns, but Munger's advice is clear: stick with the honest, hard-working people, and always prioritize integrity over short-term profit. When people take the high road, as Warren Buffett often says, there's little competition because most people don't choose it. While many are quick to take advantage of others for quick gains, Buffett and Munger focus on long-term value, whether in their business dealings or in the way they treat others. This has contributed to their success and satisfaction with their lives. Taking the high road isn't always the easiest path, but it's one that consistently proves to be the most rewarding in the long run. This approach to life and business sets Munger and Buffett apart from the crowd and has been central to their legendary success. Munger also gives an example from his own life, how the Daily Journal Corporation, under his leadership, made millions from the foreclosure boom, all while maintaining ethical business practices. During this period, Munger could have raised prices to maximize profit, but he refrained, knowing it would be wrong to exploit the suffering of others. This decision exemplifies his philosophy. Business decisions should be guided by integrity and not by the pursuit of short-term gain. He could have easily taken advantage of the situation, but instead, he chose to act in a manner that respected the challenges people were facing. For Munger, it was more important to maintain ethical standards than to maximize profits at the expense of others. This wisdom extends beyond investing. Munger encourages young people to think critically, improve continuously, and learn from their mistakes. Wisdom isn't something that can be gained overnight. It's a process that takes years of learning and adapting. Even if you make bad decisions along the way, they can become valuable lessons that contribute to your overall growth and understanding. The key, Munger argues, is not to give up after a mistake, but to use that experience to refine your decision-making in the future. As Munger points out, the modern world often works in ways that are counterintuitive. Despite the progress of the past century, advances in medicine, technology, living standards, and so on, people today often feel less satisfied than in the past. This dissatisfaction, Munger explains, isn't driven by a lack of material wealth, but by envy. People compare themselves to others who have more, and this feeling of inadequacy drives much of modern discontent. While humanity has made tremendous strides in improving living conditions, it seems that many people are focused on what others have rather than being grateful for what they have themselves. The role of envy in human behavior is profound. It's what drives people to want things they don't need, to compete with others for status rather than for genuine happiness. Munger reflects on how, even though modern society has achieved unprecedented levels of wealth and comfort, many people are still unsatisfied because they see others as having more. This, Munger believes, is a major source of unhappiness in modern life. This craving for status and material wealth over fulfillment and contentment has led to a culture of perpetual dissatisfaction. He emphasizes the importance of resisting this destructive force of envy and staying true to a path of contentment, based on self-awareness and understanding. While material wealth may bring some level of comfort, true satisfaction comes from living a life guided by principles, learning from the past, and focusing on what truly matters. If one can conquer envy in their own life, they will find greater peace and satisfaction, no matter how much or how little they have in material terms. Munger's reflections highlight an important aspect of modern capitalism: the need to focus on what truly creates value and happiness, rather than falling prey to empty desires and envy-driven behavior. While society often celebrates wealth and status, Munger suggests that the path to real contentment is not through material accumulation, but through wise decision-making, ethical behavior, and the pursuit of genuine happiness. His advice is to seek personal growth and wisdom, rather than to chase the fleeting rewards that society often prioritizes. Thus, Munger's reflections present a powerful critique of modern financial practices and the cultural obsession with wealth accumulation. He champions a more ethical approach to both business and life, emphasizing integrity, focus, and wisdom over shortcuts and the pursuit of envy-driven goals. His insights urge us to resist the temptation of quick gains and to instead embrace the slower, more deliberate path of long-term value and personal growth. By taking a more thoughtful and principled approach to life and business, we can find more lasting satisfaction and success. Munger's philosophy, rooted in ethical business practices, wisdom, and self-awareness, serves as a reminder that true wealth isn't measured in money alone, but in the value we create, the decisions we make, and the integrity with which we lead our lives. Whether in investing, business, or personal growth, the key to long-term success lies not in chasing after fleeting desires, but in building something solid, valuable, and true to our principles.